Welcome back, everyone, to Open Line. Glad you were with us. We are talking about policing policy reform, and we have with us Robert Sherrill. He's a youth advocate. He's a CEO, founder of his own business, and he's on this newly formed Policing Policy Commission. And so happy to have him via Zoom, talking to him. This commission is kind of tackling things. They've divided into three separate areas. They're tackling three separate different areas as far as reform. And what you will be looking at, as I understand, is policies, tactics, and training. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And what are you most passionate about when you talk about policies, tactics, and training? There's some questions I have, but what's the overall picture for you as far as you're concerned?
Use of force. I mean, look around. I mean, come on, people. You know, I'm reading the comments. I know some of y'all are mad, but come on now. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on. When black people and people in general being murdered on camera, that's an issue. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what political affiliation that you have. That is an issue in one of the greatest countries in America. So it ain't about Black Lives Matter. It ain't about Antifa. I don't want to hear all that. That's political. I'm talking about people literally being murdered in cold blood. And so use of force, the way that officers respond, the tactics, and things of that nature are an area of concern for me. That's why I'm on the policy commission, because I think therein lies where we can be most effective and ensure that we have laws and policies in place to hold those officers accountable should they make that mistake and take the lethal force a step further where it don't need to be. But let me be clear. I salute our men and women in uniform. I got family members that are cops. All police are not bad. I'm not going to say that because that's not true. I know a lot of good police officers. And another thing, if we stop demonizing black people for being police, then we really can make lasting change, because you change it from the inside out, not the outside in. So we have to have some people that look like us in positions of authority in order to make lasting change. So I'm not saying defund the police. Robert Sherrill has never said that. We need the police in our communities, but we need them standing and doing what they're supposed to do. And we need policies and things of that nature in place to hold them accountable when they don't. We need to change that culture of policing neighborhoods and protecting and serving Nashville communities. That culture needs to be eradicated. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to demonize the police. We're not here to defund them and make them vulnerable to attack because at the end of the day, these are human beings who have to go home to their families, and this is a job. It's a profession, and they're providing for their families. So I get that. So let me be clear before y'all start bashing the work that we're doing with the commission. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to find better policing practices and form legislation and policies around that premise, and then put that forward. That's what we're trying to do. Be clear. Before you bash, do your research. We live in an opinionated society, and it's easy to criticize. You know, there are doers and there's critics. Be more of a doer and less of a critic.
And what you're talking about is this is streaming on Facebook, and so you're seeing some of the comments on Facebook, and there are comments on both sides, as there always are. Do you think Nashville has more of a problem with community relations with black people and the police department between them, or less? I mean, do you think we're better than most cities, about the same, worse off? What would your opinion be there?
We're lagging. There are some countries in this. There are some states in this nation that are doing some great things with policing. Right? Tennessee's not doing so good. We're not doing so good. We got a history of racial injustice. We have a history of sexual harassment and things of that nature. If you've seen, it's all been in the news. It's a culture. and we have to change the culture. We have to get and partner and get information from those cities that are doing good and see what their best practices are, and implement and adopt some of those in order to bring our police department up to par. It's some changes that have to be made, and they're going to be made. Like I said, I think that with this commission, some good things are going to come out of it. I mean, if you haven't looked, I suggest you do your research on the people in this commission. It's some awesome people on the commission, and I really think that we're going to be able to do something extraordinary, and something that's going to change the history of policing in this city for years to come.
And something that will have an impact as we search for our next police chief. That's been said. That's part of what Mayor Cooper is hoping for in the report, that report will be used as they interview people that want that job. And so that can have an impact. Let's go to the phones here. Let's go to Rod. Hello, Rod.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
I agree with the guy on what he's saying there. The first thing they're going to have to do with the police department is get rid of qualified immunity and hold them to the same laws that the rest of us are held to, and quit having that qualified immunity for the police and public officials. Also, what they're going to have to do is take the profit out of the police department and put the money that the police collect. When they collect drug money and stops and stuff along the side of the road, and it goes back into the police department and the lawyers' pockets and the judges' pockets, you're going to have to take that out and put that into a general fund that helps these people when they get out of jail, that is used to rehabilitate them and give them jobs. There's not many people that turn out like him and Johnny Cash did. They just happen to be lucky to be able to get in that position and know somebody that could help them and get them started. But the other people, the poor people, they're the ones that when they come out and they're taking their voting rights away from them, and they're broke and they've got all these fees built up against them, they're going to have a start again in life to reform them. You can't, and the system itself, it makes money off of every time they put them back in. That's the problem. You got the jails making money because you got that public people, not public, but the hired people running the jails that make money out of every prisoner they put in. You got the taxpayers paying the lawyers to defend them, the taxpayers paying the judges to have their trials, and it's a profit to the police department, it's a profit to the government, and it's costing the American people, and it has to be got back to the point that it's not a profit for police. You have to take the profit out of the system and put it back where the money goes to the general fund.
All right. You said some of that, but okay, what do you think there? I'll let you comment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole premise. It's the money and the way it's. How can you have a system that distributes justice equitably when it's for profit at the same time? It don't coincide with each other, and the powers that be know that. But because it's a $1 billion industry, I will look the other way as well. That's just the way of the world. Now, we know this. This is something we've been knowing, y'all. Come on, man. We know what's going on. Private prisons are making money. Y'all, it's just the new slave trade. They come out, they go in. We put excessive weight on them when they get out so that they will go back to their old criminal lifestyle and then recidivate. Because guess what? There's more money. It's a revolving door. It's like herding cattle. This is what we know. And so until the powers that be, until we vote the people in office that will take this issue seriously and really pass some legislation and put some things in place to make this system better, then we're going to forever be having these conversations.
All right, we're going to take a break. Then I have a bunch of calls here. Therese, Harvey, Jamal, Keisha, several people. So hold on the line. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.